Hi everyone, I'm Lisa and welcome to Lisa's Stamp Studio. Today's quick tip I'm calling lazy layers. I don't know about you, but sometimes I just don't want to get up and die cut a bigger shape to go behind an image. So I've got some tips for you on how you can do that without actually cutting another piece of cardstock. My first example, we'll use this one, this beautiful embossed greeting, and we're going to use the marker. Now the Stampin' Up! Markers have two sides to them. One side is the brush, the other side is the pen. This is intended for coloring, and this side is intended for writing or journaling. So we're going to use the brush side. Take the cap off, and we're going to use the side of the marker, and we are going to drag it along the edge of the paper. This gives you a very, very faint color around the edge, but enough to decipher it from another layer of the same color behind it. It's really quite pretty, and it's easy to do. Couple tips for you is make sure that you're using the thicker part of the marker here at the bottom. Make sure you're keeping your fingers away from it while it dries, and make sure that you pull towards you. I find that's a lot easier than going backwards all the way around. Got a piece of white cardstock here so you can see the faint tone on the edges for a little bit more color. Now if you decide that you want more, lean the marker more forward so you have a little bit more color around the front edge of your design. Okay, so that's way one. Way two uses the actual ink pad. Now I'm going to give you a little disclaimer about this before we get started. The Stampin' Up! Ink pads now are firm foam, which means that this is a foam base. You would never want to take your die cut piece or your cut cardstock and grind it into the pad, because obviously the edges of the paper are quite sharp, which is why we get paper cuts. So what you're going to do is you're going to lightly tap and run around the edges to color it, just like you would the marker, but this time we're using the pad. Obviously your ink pad will have to be well inked, because if it's rather dry, this won't work very well. So we've got some ink on the edges there. Same thing as with the marker, you're going to want to make sure that you don't touch it and allow it time to dry. Now the ink pads for basic gray and basic black are actually linen based, so you can actually drag the paper through the ink pad without harming it, as long as you're gentle. So here are two easy ways for you to cheat and create a little bit of color to your layers next time you're creating your cards or 3D projects. Thanks for joining me, everyone. I hope you have a great day.